It's so good to be back, amigos. Did you miss me? Don't answer that, because we all know the answer is you missed me so much, you didn't do shit.
The 5th episode of Invincible Season 3 has come out, and it might be, no, it definitely is the new best episode of the season. And that is for one particular reason.
Cut the rocks for brains and get to the point.
Machine Head, our favorite auto-tune crazed criminal mastermind, is back. I am so happy that I could break out into song. But we'll get back to our main man Machine Head in just a little bit here. If you end up enjoying this video and my content in general, then definitely consider hitting the like and sub button. I actually have another Invincible related video coming out on Wednesday that isn't just my normal episodic coverage, so be sure to look out for that. Alright, that's enough screwing around. Let's talk about Invincible Season 3 Episode 5. This was supposed to be easy. It's the Titan episode that everyone's been waiting for. We get a nice look behind the glass at how things have been going for him. Family seems happy, city seems happy and peaceful, and it seems as though Titan has pulled himself out from the rubble. That is until the issue of Multi-Paul. I'm sorry, I can't say that name with a straight face. That is until the issue of Mr. Liu, head of the Order, wants his assassin back, Multi-Paul. And speaking of Paul, dude tries to break out of prison in a really gruesome way. Man literally entity crammed his prison cell until it exploded with a river of blood and bodies. Yeah, sometimes I forget how gruesome this show can be. Point is, he fails to get out, and then he has a bit of a harsh heart-to-heart with his sister. We actually get some backstory on Kate and Paul, and we learn that something was, like, up with their dad. I'm not sure. I mean, from this frame, it just looks like he's stunned at how many kids he has, or something. But maybe he's like mentally slipping or something, you know? But Kate visited their father and told Paul that he is the same, so clearly something is up with him. But then the two part on relatively neutral terms. They don't hate each other by any means, they just sort of disagree with each other's paths. Meanwhile, at the Grayson household, Eve and Mark almost get caught again in the morning, and they pull the old, "Oh, someone's at the door, I wonder who it could be. Oh, it's Eve, what a surprise." Classic. Oliver, the little snitch, essentially rats out Mark for sleeping with Eve. They even do the whole kicking each other under the table while Eve tries to divert the conversation into something else routine. It's a classic. It's a classic cartoon trope that is just so easy to implement, and it's always funny. And while they're having breakfast, Mark asks his mom how expensive renting an apartment would be, since, you know, he wants to have his own space with Eve, which is totally valid. And Oliver gets a little bit sad about this notion, because he doesn't want his older brother to leave. He loves Mark. And when Mark isn't educating him on why killing is bad and Oliver is drenched in blood, they're very fun characters to watch on screen together. But ultimately, Mark and Eve want their own place together, so they gotta get loads of money, probably. And Eve, the absolute gigabrain, conceives this plan to sell their superheroing powers as like private security contractors. I guess when you're not a government-sanctioned superhero, you gotta make your way in the world somehow, right? And while Mark and Eve are figuring that whole shenanigans out, Mr. Liu is threatening Titan again to be like, "Ooh, Get my assassin out of prison now." Is that racist? Is doing an impression racist? But Mr. Liu gives Titan 24 hours to break Multi-Paul out of prison. Now, is Multi-Paul really that valuable? Probably not. He could probably be replaced. But as Isotope goes on to explain, the Order is just trying to see if Titan is going to play ball with them or if he's not. And Isotope also explains to us that Machine Head, our favorite character on this channel, Isotope explains that Machine Head... I'm sorry, I'll continue now. And Isotope explains that Machine Head was angling to take Mr. Liu's position as head of the Order back when he was in charge. I guess when your head's a supercomputer, you really do think big. Back over to the Grayson household, Mark and Eve begin setting up Invincible Inc. Come on, guys, can you be a little bit more creative than that? I mean, I guess you could do like a double I sort of thing, like you get two eyes, Invincible Inc. I mean, like that could make for some nice branding logos, I guess. But while they're trying to get everything set up, Debbie tells Mark that Oliver has gone missing. It doesn't take Mark and Eve long to find him, but when they do find him, he's just out being a normal kid. He's made some friends, he's socializing, and he's made friends that don't make fun of him for being purple, which is, that's good. And then some bullies come along, and the first thought to enter my mind is, uh-oh, someone's getting murdered. But to my surprise, and I'm sure to many people in the audience's surprise, Oliver pants all of the bullies in 2 seconds flat. Not only did I laugh unexpectedly, but I also breathed a sigh of relief. No more Oliver murders. for now. Clearly, Oliver took what Mark and Debbie said about life being precious to heart. He's growing and he is learning, which at the very least means he'll probably turn out better than Nolan. And now, for your regularly scheduled unnamed superhero team that used to be Teen Team and Guardians of the Globe sitcom episode. We see Ray watching some kind of dating show, and there's this girl talking about how after she went on a second date with this random guy, that she really came around on him, which, as you might have guessed, is foreshadowing for what's about to happen. Rexplode, the absolute mad lad, leaves this adorable little drawing of him and Ray eating dinner together outside of her door. So obviously Ray gets curious and goes to investigate the kitchen. She finds Rex cooking a normal dinner. Yes, Rexplode cooking a normal dinner and setting up a nice table. And it's not just me who's surprised. Rex spends the next 30 seconds talking about how surprised he is that he could actually manage this. They also try some wine that Rex managed to swipe from the Immortal, and the label on the wine says it's from the year 1762. Yeah, the wine was horrible. I want to take a quick second to rewind to episode 4. In episode 4, Rex remarked this.
Are we too weird sometimes? Should we just be more normal?
And now back to the present, Ray acknowledges and observes that nothing around them is normal, but it's still good. The two hold hands and enjoy a nice, normal meal together, and it is one of the most wholesome things to ever come out of this show. I mean, seriously. Two superheroes, one of them who used to be a degenerate, trying their best to have just some sense of normalcy just for an hour or two. God. Not only is it wholesome as hell, but it's relatable. Not the superhero thing, I mean trying to get a sense of normalcy in this world of chaos we live in. Okay, back to the main plot now.
Well, look who it is.
It's him. Sorry, I got a little excited there. Machine Head just really gets my gears turning, if you catch my drift. Do I even need to say anything, or can I just play Machine Head's funny lines? Is that an option for me? Say his dialogue / explain the plot, or just let the editor play some of his funny lines. Yeah, we're gonna go with that option.
You think this place knows anything about maintaining a piece of quality machinery like me? I'm missing my computer classes. How else am I gonna learn Microsoft Word and get a job in a fucking office? Well, welcome to reality, muchacho. Aw, is your old super friend still sore at you after my giant space cat rearranged his face?
God, that voice never gets old. All right, the rundown is this. Titan goes to Machine Head with his dilemma, where Mr. Leo is like, get my assassin out of there. Get my assassin, or I'm gonna turn into a dragon and eat your family. And Machine Head's like, all right, you got two options, bro. You can break Paul out of prison, or you can watch your family get eaten by a fucking dragon. Just, he says it with just a lot more sass. So Titan's plan is a very long and quite brilliant one, but it starts off with him personally attacking the prison to get Mark's attention. And he does get Mark's attention, and for at least the moment, Mark agrees to talk with Titan. And we also get this utter gem of the scene.
This is still some bullshit.
I fucking love this show. I mean, seriously, there's not a single second where I am not entertained. It is beautiful. Titan explains to Mark that the part of the city that they're in now, when they're taking their walk, is a lot more peaceful and a lot less crimey and violent-y and just horrible because of Titan's rule and control. But if Titan doesn't break Paul out of prison, then they're just going to replace Titan with someone a whole lot worse, and the whole city's just going to plummet into chaos. But Mark isn't biting, and he tries to take Titan to prison, but Titan made a very good and very intelligent escape. After running down and through the sewers and then back up another ladder, Titan has a whole just swarm of people wearing the same clothes as him just essentially swarm Mark to disorient him, giving him a very easy out. You know what? Hats off to you, Titan. Even though
your head's a fucking rock.
You're pretty smart. God, I'm so glad I started wearing this hat as part of my costume. I looked awful without it. Mark goes home and explains everything that happened to Eve. And Eve says, and I actually agree with her here, that not working with Titan was probably the right call. Besides, if he helped Titan break Multipole out of prison, then he would be like a branded criminal, and that's the last thing he needs right now. Although what Titan warned about came to pass. Mr. Leo goes dragon form, and it's a whole thing, and then he goes to the prison to try and break out Paul. It's a mess. It's a mess. But this dragon fight, this is where the episode peaks. Because Mark hits the goddamn dragon with the goddamn This fight is a straight up anime battle, and I am all for it. But what I love even more is Machine Head getting himself all squeaky clean in the middle of the chaos. Also, is that a robot, like sexy robot lady poster in his cell? During the battle, Paul makes his escape attempt, but luckily Eve is on the case. She knows the state of the prison and how many prisoners escape, ideally none, will determine if Invincible Inc. gets paid or not. And she manages to contain Paul. Hey, Eve, I think you missed one. Don't fly away yet. Meanwhile, outside, Mark is really kind of getting his ass handed to him by the dragon. And the dragon explains that, quote, his power comes from outside this reality. Yeah, this man is straight up from another anime IP franchise, completely different universe. That is how overpowered he is. Huh, what was that green light coming from that cell? I'm sure it was nothing. Wait a minute. I recognize that poster. Yup, that's right. Machine Head, the sly little dog, has Isotope teleport him out of the prison and back to his former digs. And then he proceeds to shoot Mr. Liu in the head and destroys the dragon in the process. So Machine Head's kind of the hero this time. Okay, not really. Machine Head was gonna let the dragon eat Invincible, but Titan thought he owed Invincible one, and, you know, he didn't let that fly, and he kind of saved Invincible there. Technically speaking, Titan might be a crime boss, and, you know, he might run a lot of organizations under his rule that might not be the most ethical in the world, but in terms of, like, values and how he views life and just his morals in general, he's an alright guy, you know? So once again, Mark took out Titan's biggest rival and the biggest threat to him, and essentially gave Titan everything he wanted. Again, Mark did get played, but Eve is right when she said that things would have ended up a lot worse if they didn't act at all. The dragon could have killed so many more people, and then Titan would have been kicked out of his position to be replaced by someone so much worse, which would have resulted in even more people dying, and Machine Head wouldn't get to rise to his rightful glory. All in all, I'd say it was a win. Later in the night, Mark and Eve have a talk about their more immediate future, and they both agree that things were moving a little bit fast between the two, and, you know, they want to slow things down because they want their relationship to work. They don't want it to be rushed, they don't want it to be stale, they want it to be just that nice, perfect balance, you know? So they're gonna hold off on getting the apartment for now. That way Mark can stay at home, he won't have to pay rent, and he can keep looking after his brother. Their relationship is so healthy, man. It is a thing of beauty. And then the last we see of Mark this episode is him and his mom having a conversation where his mom, calls him out on having time with Eve. And as Debbie tries to start a conversation about it, Mark, in about 2 seconds flat, cleans up all of Oliver's toys and then is like, nope, I'm out, see you, Mom, and then gone. To be fair, I would do the exact same thing. Time for more Machine Head. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. This man asserts his dominance over the Order. He doesn't waste he wastes a couple of seconds, but we're not going to talk about that. It was for dramatic effect. You gotta have dramatic effect when you're taking over an international superpowered crime syndicate. But as Machine Head puts it,
Oh, what the hell? You caught me in a once-in-a-lifetime good move.
he lets Titan keep the city and not have to stay in the Order. And, you know, some actually genuinely really terrifying threats involving mutilation, torture, and a lot of other really fucked up shit. Also, apparently, Machine Head became politically correct during his time in prison when he asks everyone in the Order,
Now, does anyone have any new business he, she, or it would like to bring up?
Man is even acknowledging the more overarching, encompassing pronouns. He is just the best. You know, Machine Head and I have got a lot in common. We're both geniuses, we're never down for very long, and we're always ready to
Make a little money!
The episode closes with Kate finding a paper decoration that her and her brother made when they were kids in the Guardians HQ. I'm not sure if that's like a threat or like a thank you or like an I'm watching you type of calling card. I don't really know what it means yet. Or maybe it's just a, hey, I'm out of prison now calling card. And our post-credit scene sees Mr. Liu being revived. Look, Mr. Liu, I know that Machine Head shot you in the head and all that. Believe me, I know you have every right and you are completely justified to be utterly pissed at him. But if you let him live, he can make the Order millions. Picture this. Machine Head, the musical. It will make Broadway. It will make millions. And the Order will be set for generations. So please, kind sir, just let him live. And that was Invincible Season 3, Episode 5. No question in my mind, best episode yet. Some heartfelt moments between our two leads, some backstory on some characters we haven't really gotten too much backstory on, as well as some more wholesome moments from Rexplode, a fucking awesome dragon fight, and of course, the utter highlight, our best boy, Machine Head, back in action. Not to mention a JoJo reference during the dragon fight. In all seriousness and all jokes aside, this episode genuinely did take pure entertainment to a whole new level of standard for this season. Last episode was top tier, but this episode, it took the tier list, broke it in half, and then made a new tier list with 3 new tiers, and then broke that tier list. Though one tiny itty bitty little issue that myself and one of my viewers have is that the dragon seems to be on roughly the same power level as those giant centipedes from episode 1, was it? The centipedes and the dragon inflicted pretty much equal damage on Invincible. I mean, yeah, the dragon did a tiny bit more, but you know, it's just like you'd think the dragon would be a lot more powerful, you know? But I'll leave that to all the power scaling YouTubers to figure out and sort out and debate about, because, you know, I gotta let them earn their check too. But what did you think? I'm kidding. I don't need to ask you what you think because I already know what you think because Machine Head is the best. Everybody loves Machine Head. But still feel free to leave your glaze and praise about this episode in the comments down below. Would love to read and respond to some of that. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and my content in general, then please hit the like and sub button. And if you want to show me a little bit of extra support, then definitely consider becoming a channel member. Not only do you directly support me, but you get a whole bunch of exclusive rewards in the process, and I would just appreciate it a whole bunch.
Okay, take your toys and go home.